The Battle of Sarandí was fought on October 12 of 1825, in the vicinity of the Arroyo Sarandí in Uruguay, between troops of the Banda Oriental and the Empire of Brazil. It resulted in a decisive victory for the Orientals. Background: the Banda Oriental was occupied by the United Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil and the Algarves in 1820 under the name of Cisplatin Province, and was incorporated as a Brazilian province in 1822 when Brazil became independent from Portugal. The Orientals resumed their efforts to get rid of foreign occupation, and after the landing of the 33 Orientals engaged the Brazilian forces in a series of actions which included the siege of Montevideo, led by Manuel Uribe, and that of Colonia del Sacramento. The Battle of Rincon resulted in a victory for the Oriental forces, and represented a major setback for the Brazilian forces besieged at Montevideo, as Brazilian casualties were high, which included about 8,000 horses captured by the Orientals. As soon as the news were known, in Montevideo a force of around 1,000 Brazilian soldiers under Colonel Bento Manuel Ribeiro was organized, with intention to a Brazilian army of similar strength that was in the field, led by General Bento Gonçalves da Silva. Juan Antonio Lavalleja was in Durazno with Oriental troops, and after becoming aware of these news, tried to prevent both Brazilian forces joining in a single army. This action was unsuccessful. With a major effort, Lavalleja was able to muster a force of similar strength, and faced the Brazilian army at the tips of the Arroyo Sarandí, in an area located on the present-day Florida Department, on October 12, 1825. The battle. On the morning of the 12th, after arriving to the vicinity of Sarandí Creek, Lavalleja was informed that the enemy was a league away. Lavalleja formed his troops in a battle line, facing south, occupying the heights overlooking the road to Paso de Polanco del Ye. The forces under Fructuoso Rivera were placed to the left of Lavalleja's, supporting the flank of Sarandí Creek. Those led by Pablo Zufriedgi were in the center, while on the right wing were located the troops led by Manuel Uribe. The reserves were located behind the center. Meanwhile, the imperial troops had reached Sarandí del Ye, and believing that Rivera was on the right bank of the Sarandí Creek were surprised to see them the other side. After crossing the stream and reaching higher ground, the Brazilians realized that the whole of the Oriental force was formed in the line of battle. Bento Manuel Ribeiro realized the advantage of the Oriental formation, and rather than attacking realigned his forces. The maneuver of the Brazilian army put Lavalleja off balance, forcing him to change his front from the south to the west. But speed with which the maneuver was carried out caused confusion in the line, leaving Zufriedgi in the center and Manuel Uribe at the right. At 8 in the morning the action began. The Oriental artillery opened fire began, and Ribeiro ordered the Brazilian army to attack. Rivera charged on Bento Gonçalves, while in the center Uribe was suddenly charged by the imperial forces of Álvaro de Alencar, whose disciplined troops penetrated the front and reached the Oriental reserves. This maneuver could have been fatal to the Oriental forces. Realizing the danger, Lavalleja charged with the reserve forces against the Brazilians and divided the formation in two. The Oriental right wing charged against the Brazilian left wing, which was trying to support the Brazilian center. As a result, Alencar's forces were flanked by Rivera's troops and by the Oriental reserves, which were in pursuit of the scattered troops under Gonçalves Bentos. This allowed Uribe to reorganize its forces and counterattack. The confusion of the Brazilian troops was huge and caused its dispersion, as they suddenly found themselves charged by the Oriental cavalry, who forced the imperial troops to leave the battlefield and relentlessly pursued the enemy. Aftermath. The Orientals organized the Congress of Florida and requested reunification with the United Provinces of the River Plate. The General Congress, which gathered in the city of Buenos Aires, approved on October 24 a law that reunited the Banda Oriental to the United Provinces of Rio de la Plata. Regardless, the Brazilian army retained the northeast of the country, allowing it to keep in touch with its metropolis. For this reason, the Orientals took action to regain control of this area, culminating in the capture of the fortress of Santa Teresa on the 31st of December 1825, which was located in the Rocha department, near the present border with Brazil. From then on, the Brazilian forces held only the besieged cities of Colonia and Montevideo. Currently, the small town close to the battlefield is called Sarandí Grande.